Back in February 2009, I opened my Twitter account and it was love at first sight. Now, I'd used social media before. I'd been on MySpace. I think by that point, I was probably already on Facebook. I'd even been on Friends Reunited, where I got contacted by one of my old teachers and basically berated for getting married and having a kid too young. That was a nice experience, but Twitter was different. Twitter was love. And I don't think a day has gone by since February 2009 where I haven't tweeted something. Or at the very least, gone onto Twitter and just sat there mindlessly scrolling through just to see what everyone else was tweeting. I just love the whole experience of it. And over the years, social media has become more and more a part of my life. Obviously, I now do YouTube, a social network, as my job, and as part of that I've had to learn how to use the likes of Instagram and use Facebook properly, and I even have a Snapchat and a TikTok that I very rarely touch. But all of that stuff being part of my job has led to social media creeping into more and more of my life, to the point where over those 12 or so years from when I first opened up my Twitter account, it's become something of an obsession. And I thought with these monthly challenges for 2020, it might be a good idea just to remind myself of what life was like before social media. So back in January, for an entire month, I didn't touch social media. I didn't go on Twitter. I didn't go on Facebook, Instagram. I didn't look at the YouTube comments on either of the channels. I just basically disconnected completely from social media. Mainly just to see what would happen. Would my business fall apart? Would I lose my mind? Would I become overwhelmed with feelings of loneliness as I realised that I sit in my garage for most of my day and only speak to Anna and the kids, and without that contact with the outside world, how would I feel? And I just thought it'd be really interesting to see what happened. And this is the story of what happened. Thanks for the support as a channel member, Felix Schwer.
Right, it is 4 minutes to midnight on New Year's Eve, and we need to get rid of social media. Bye-bye Facebook, bye-bye Instagram, bye-bye YouTube Studio, bye-bye Twitter. And I'm keeping Snapchat because I only use that to send silly videos to Anna, so that one's okay. Bye social media, see you again in February.
It's 1 a.m, New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. Just over an hour without social media. I assume everyone's had a happy new year. I don't know, I sent my message out early and I haven't received any. This is going to be a long month. It's the 4th. And for the first time, I'm really missing having access to Twitter. I'm watching wrestling. It's Wrestle Kingdom and New Japan Pro Wrestling this morning. And usually when I watch wrestling, I tweet along with it and see what other people are tweeting about it. It's just not the same without being able to chat to other people as it's happening. Very sad. The absolute hardest thing I'm finding about this no social media thing is times like now. It's Saturday afternoon, we're out and about, keeping up with the football scores, having to log into apps to do it. I feel like a caveman. I've got my Twitter perfectly tuned. I follow the right accounts that give me the right information immediately. I really miss it. Right, it is the 19th of January and I've been meaning to record this clip for about a week because I'm not missing social media at all at this point. I think long term the business would suffer if I wasn't on there, because and I think I would suffer as well. I think I'd miss that human interaction after a little while, because working on my own out in my garage, it is sometimes the only interaction I get when I'm not streaming at the moment. So I'm not getting the interaction from a stream chat, and I'm not talking to people online. So it's literally just Anna and the guys I do the podcast with on a Friday night. They're pretty much the only people I've spoken to this month. But it's been nice. You know, I've enjoyed not having to do it. I'm getting so much more work done. I think so far so good. It's gonna be interesting to see how the next couple of weeks go. But as I sit here right now, I don't intend to launch ever back into using social media the way I was before. Cut to me using it the way I was before, probably. Well, I've just had to allow myself 1 hour of social media. For anyone who was around on the channel last month when all this was going on, you'll remember the day the Lad Bible video came out. I got the heads up it was coming out. I knew I'd been working on it with them for about a week. I knew it was coming. I got the heads up it was coming out tonight and thought, right, I need to allow myself an hour just to go onto Facebook and be in the comments, direct people towards the channel, direct people towards my Facebook page, get it tweeted out, and just be active for an hour or so. As far as I'm concerned, that's work. I still didn't turn on my Twitter timeline. I didn't look at the Facebook wall or whatever it's called these days, but I think it would have been a very bad idea from a business perspective for me to just pretend that wasn't happening and sit here not on social media. So we'll say that one's okay, as long as I don't go back on again tomorrow or later on this evening for just one more look. We're good. Well, we have arrived at the final day of January, and I have gone the entire month without using Twitter, without using Instagram, and just using Facebook for that hour or so when I had to because of the Lad Bible thing. And it's been an experience, that's for sure. Am I going to start using social media again immediately from midnight? Yeah, probably. I think I have felt that disconnect from my audience by not being able to have those conversations, not being able to reply to YouTube comments, not being able to chat to people on Twitter. I do feel I've kind of drifted back from having my finger on the pulse of what content people are looking for, what people are enjoying, even what's going on in the world. Because I don't really consume news anyway other than Twitter, unless Anna has told me about something, I haven't really known about it. So it's been a little bit weird on that side of things. But then on the flip side of it, and I mentioned this in my January favourites video recently, I've achieved so much throughout January. And I don't know if it's because I've been bullet journaling and it's made me more organised. I don't know if it's because I'm super motivated because it's January and I'm eating healthy and I'm exercising and I'm working towards all these new goals. Or I don't know if it's because I've just had loads more time because I'm not spending however long a day scrolling through Twitter, scrolling through Instagram. I think I need to be certainly more conscious and more aware how I'm using them. Yes, I can tweet, I can post on Instagram, but perhaps I don't need to spend however long I was spending before just scrolling through to see what other people have got to say. Maybe use it more for sending my messages out, interacting with replies, but perhaps I don't need to just sit there browsing it. Perhaps that's time I could spend doing something a little more constructive. But by the time this video comes out, I'll have been back on for a couple of weeks. So I guess I can now throw to future Kev, who'll tell you whether I did use it or if I've just gone back to my old habits. And that brings me through to today. It's now been more than a month since I returned to social media. As I record this, it is the 5th of March, so I don't know exactly when the video came out, but 5th of March I'm recording this, so I've been back on social media for over a month now, and there have certainly been times where I've missed not being on it. I think I use social media more consciously, more responsibly now. There are certain aspects of it that I have to do because they are part and parcel of running the business that I run. So it is important from a community building perspective and just from being a nice guy that I reply to as many YouTube comments as I can every day, and I reply to as many tweets as I can every day. And I at least go through the comments on my Instagram pictures and at least heart them as much as I can remember to and answer any questions and things on there. But I've not gone back to Facebook at all. I think I maybe opened Facebook up once or twice since, but I just literally open it up, have a look, and just close it again. The being away from Facebook for a month has killed it for me. I already didn't really like it, and now I've realised I can live without it. I don't really touch Facebook at all. I know we do still have Facebook groups and things, and Anna still polices them, and you lot still chat in them, which is all good stuff, but I'm not using Facebook at all anymore, and I really don't miss it. Instagram, I still don't really know how to use. One day I'll get good at it, but it's not high priority for me because I'm already running 2 YouTube channels. I think if I was just doing the one channel, then Instagram would be a bigger part of my day-to-day stuff. But from what I learned about Instagram, running an Instagram channel properly is almost a full-time job in itself, and I just don't have time for it. But obviously the big one that I've gone back to is Twitter. This is the one where I have found myself a few times just doing the mindless scroll, but I'm trying not to do it as much, and I don't think I am doing it as much. And when I catch myself doing it, I'm kind of asking myself, should I be doing this? Because I can't get away from the fact that January was probably the most productive month of my life. It was insanely productive, and February wasn't. February wasn't as productive, and the big change was returning to social media. And there are times when I get lost in it. There are times when I get caught up in an argument / discussion, depending on how you want to frame it. There are times when I'll just get stuck looking at the trending page, or I don't know. I try not to, but it is hard, and I still need to find that balance, because I think it is impossible for me to do what I do as a job without using social media as part of that. And I do enjoy social media. Like I said at the start, I really enjoy Twitter when it's at its best, but I really hate it when it's at its worst. And one of the reasons I did this when I did is because coming off the back of December on Twitter, especially if you're in the UK, was a nightmare, because it was just election stuff. It was just people's extreme political opinions, one way or the other, and it was just a competition to see who could shout the loudest. And I'd had enough at that point. And of course, when I first came back, it was the day after Brexit happened. So that was all over Twitter. So I didn't jump straight back in. And now, of course, the whole thing is dominated by the coronavirus. And it does get a bit repetitive when there's stuff like that going on. But like I said, I'm enjoying being able to chat to people about wrestling again. I'm enjoying being able to just be a nice guy, respond to people's questions. So if people ask me what I'm using to edit a video, I can tell them. Or if people ask me when the next video is coming out, I can tell them. And just the general being nice stuff is nice. But I think I am still going to continue to battle to find a middle ground between not using it at all and using it in the way that's most effective for my own sanity and my business. So we'll get there. I'm definitely using it more consciously than I was before. It was definitely a valuable experience. I'm actually thinking it might be something that I maybe do once a year, maybe every January. Maybe every January I just have a month off social media, just as a bit of a break, because I think it did feel like a holiday. Despite the fact I was working so hard on other stuff, it felt like I had so much free time as well, because I wasn't able to, whereas like now, if I was to go in the house now and think, oh, it's 20 minutes till I need to go and start making dinner, not really much to do, I will just pull my phone out and spend 20 minutes on Twitter. And it feels like I've not had any free time then, because it's kind of working. Whereas when that wasn't an option, I could sit and read a comic book or play a video game or interact with some real humans, and it was nice. So I'll figure it out. It's something I'd definitely recommend. Maybe not for a month. Maybe if you want to give it a try, see if you can do a week or a weekend or a few days, or pick a day a week where you don't use it. And these are all things I'm considering doing. I'm thinking maybe I won't use Twitter at the weekends going forward. Who knows? We'll figure something out. But it was definitely a worthwhile experience. I would recommend it to anybody. And yeah, I think it's definitely helped me going forward. So if all of the challenges that I do this year are as successful as that one, this is going to be a pretty good year. If you've enjoyed that video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this, plus of course the daily vlog and all the other bits and bobs we've got going on as well. And thank you very much for watching.